Purchased a lot of fragrances this year, but these are my absolute favorite fragrance purchases of 2025 so far. Some of these fragrances are new releases while others released years ago. However, they all are new to my collection and they all are on this list for a specific reason. So if you want to find out which of my fragrance purchases of 2025 stand out more than the rest, you're going to want to stick around for this video. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Ty, and here I primarily talk about fragrances, but we also sprinkle in some fashion and lifestyle content as well. So really the primary purpose is to help you show up as your best self consistently, day in and day out, by looking good, smelling good, and feeling good. Y'all know the vibes, man. So do me a favor, if you're interested in those type of videos or that type of content, consider subscribing below, then make sure you hit the bell so you can stay notified anytime I post any new content. Okay, y'all, let's get things kicked off. First up on the list, we have YSL Myslf Le Parfum, and man, this one is fire, y'all. This is a 2024 release, so it followed up on the OG, which was the EDP, came out a few years back. But this one here, y'all, when comparing the two, I think both smell great, but this is definitely, hands down, in my opinion, the better option. Leans unisex, but definitely has more of a masculine flair when compared to the EDP. But it's all about that orange blossom. You get this really nice bourbon vanilla in here, and you get some spices in the background. Get a little bit of woodiness as it dries down. It reaches that far dry down, but all in all, it's that orange blossom and vanilla with some spice. And again, simple, y'all, but it smells very, very good. And what I always say about this one, it's clean and it has this fresh feeling, but it does so without an abundance of citrus or, being an aquatic or a blue fragrance. To me, this is still on the fresher side of things, but does it in just a beautiful way. Again, with those, that floral and that vanilla, a little bit of light spice. Just one I really enjoy, y'all. So this one is not groundbreaking by any means, y'all, but it smells great. And it also performs well. It's extremely versatile and is highly complimented. So I haven't worn this one that many times yet, but honestly, every time I wear it, I feel like I get a compliment, which isn't a bad thing. So if you haven't checked this one out yet, I definitely recommend it. This is YSL Myslf Le Parfum. Okay, y'all, next up on the list, we have a 2025 release, and it's Valentino's Born in Roma Extra Dose. And again, y'all, this one smells amazing, but I can't say it's super complex or overly unique. It's another simple fragrance, man. But simple isn't bad. This one again here, especially if you smell the original or Born in Roma Intense, this one's going to be very familiar to you. It doesn't smell exactly like either of those, but it's almost like the best parts of both of them, in my opinion at least. So this one is, really fresh, spicy, has a sort of, warm, ambery sweetness as it dries down. It smells great, y'all. It just smells great. It performs very well. To get extra dose in the name, well, the performance matches, let's say. It's one that definitely, it projects the longevity. It's 9+ hours pretty easily. So great performance. It smells great. Is it groundbreaking? No. Do you absolutely need this in your collection? No, especially not if you have Born in Roma, the OG, or Intense. But if you're someone like me, I had recently run out of my Born in Roma Intense, was looking to, pick that one back up or something similar. And this one served a great purpose, and I actually enjoy it a little bit more than Born in Roma Intense. And of course, it's another one that pound for pound, y'all, one of my more complimented fragrances this year. It seems like almost every time I wear this one, I'm getting a compliment, and I wore this one quite a bit for about 2 weeks right after I bought it, just to test it, get a sense for what it was. And man, like I said, it seems like every time I wore it, somebody was saying how nice I smelled. So if you're looking for something that smells good, gets compliments, pretty simple, but does the trick, check out Valentino's Born in Roma Extra Dose. Okay, moving over to the niche side of things, y'all. Next up, we have Xerjoff's Erba Gold. And this one here, y'all, this is one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites. Like I said, instantly fell in love when I first smelled this one. Had to add it to my collection. I'm glad I was able to do so this year. This one is more unique. This one is, definitely, in my opinion, it's a showstopper. It's one that stops people in their tracks, gets people's attention. And it does that by having this really inviting, welcoming, but wearable scent profile and DNA. So you get this tropical fruity feel from a number of citrus and fruity notes. You get things like melon and pear, and I don't care what anybody says, I swear I get some mango in here. There's no mango listed, but maybe it's the bottle and my mind playing tricks on me. But nonetheless, like I said, you get this tropical sort of fruity feel. But the thing I really appreciate about this one is you also get some spices. And that's what sets this one apart from its OG, so the original Erba Pura, which definitely leans a little more unisex. But again, here you get some, cinnamon, you get some cardamom and things like that really help balance out that fruity sweetness. And then of course get that musk and kind of amber, vanilla in the dry down. And this is just a very well-rounded fragrance. This one is very versatile. It works year-round, but I really like wearing this one in the summer, specifically in the evening. Again, date nights, special occasions. This one is a showstopper that is unique, but still very approachable and easy to like. So really love this one. The performance is great. Of course, I have a number of Xerjoff fragrances. They very rarely lack in that department, and this is no exception. Great performance, great scent profile, just a great fragrance. Super glad to add this one to my collection this year, y'all, and it's Xerjoff's Erba Gold. Next up, we have Joe Milano's Game of Spades Boston. Game of Spades Boston, y'all, and if you know anything about me, I really love Joe Milano's Game of Spades fragrances. They don't really miss. I'll be honest, with the ones that I have in my collection, they have not missed yet. I also picked up Royale this year, and honestly, it could have also been on this list, but instead I went with this one, probably because of the time of year. When I do this list at the end of the year to talk about my favorite fragrances overall, I'm sure one or both of those will be on there, but nonetheless, this one here, with Boston, you get a fragrance that's a clone of Bond Number 9's Scent of Peace for Him. And that's actually one that's pretty hard to find on discounters now, y'all. So it's great to have an option like this. And essentially what you get with the scent profile, to me, it smells like a sort of fruity carbonated drink in the opening. So you get some citruses, you get pineapple mixed with black currant, and then you also get juniper berries that give it this sort of fizzy, effervescent, bubbly feel to me. So all in all, again, a nice fruity, sort of sweet and fresh opening. As it dries down, you get some woody notes. It balances out a bit. And overall, one that works really well year-round, but really good in the warm weather, at least in my opinion. And it's just a very likable scent. Another one that has that scent profile that just works. Another great one from Joe Milano's Game of Spades line, we have Boston. Okay, and next up, we're going back to Xerjoff. So we have Xerjoff's 40 Knots here. And, I came into the year, I definitely wanted to pick up some more Xerjoff fragrances. I sampled a lot of them last year and fell in love with a lot of them. So, again, glad to be able to pick up this one and finally add it to the collection. And this is one of the more unique fragrances here, y'all. So, as a name like 40 Knots, in a, bluish kind of purple bottle, you would think, fresh, watery, aquatic, and blue. And, not exactly true, right? So some of those, it does have a freshness, right? So some of those things are true. Freshness, sort of sea breezy, a bit vibe to it, but it also has this ambery warmth and this, spice to it that smells like cardamom or cinnamon to my nose. It's a lot going on, but it's done so well and it's blended so smoothly. It just smells great. And like I said, it's just one of the more unique fragrances that I've smelled. I enjoy wearing it most in the transitional season, so spring, and then I can't wait until fall wraps around. It's going to be probably something that I sort of signature scent, but it also has this very elegant and elevated vibe to it. So not saying you can't wear it casually, but I do also really enjoy wearing this one, when I'm dressed up a bit more or for special occasions. So all in all, y'all, super glad to have this one in my collection. We got Xerjoff's 40 Knots. Okay, the last fragrance on the list, y'all, we have one of my grails. It's Tom Ford's Oud Wood, one of my absolute favorite fragrances ever. I probably sampled this fragrance and had, more decants of this fragrance than any fragrance. So finally being able to pick up a bottle of it, I'm super happy, y'all. This is, again, one of my favorites here. And essentially what you get with this one, if you're not familiar with it, it's all about wood mixed with that warm spice in the freshest, kind of cleanest way possible. So I wouldn't consider this a freshie, but it is, like I said, on the more crisp and masculine and, clean side overall. Just a great smelling fragrance, one that, to date, I haven't smelled anything exactly like it. And that's what made me, like I said, finally pull the trigger and grab this one. But I know the big knock is, you know, the performance, and to each his own, but for me personally, the performance here is enough. I get 6 to 7 hours, which, you know, is pretty good from a longevity standpoint. Isn't the biggest projector, and I think that's what most people are talking about. You know, longevity is one thing, projection and sillage are another. No, this one doesn't project that much. It's more of an intimate, kind of soft projection, but from a longevity standpoint, in terms of how long it stays on my skin and how long, you know, I continue to catch whiffs of it throughout the day, like I said, I'd say at least 6 hours, sometimes more, sometimes in that 7-hour range. And that's more than enough for me, like I said, in most situations. And if it isn't, can always just spray on a little more. But nonetheless, like I said, one of my absolute favorite fragrances of all time. Super glad to have this one in the collection. And it's Tom Ford's Oud Wood. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what have been some of your favorite fragrance purchases of this year. And if you want to see my favorite spring and summer fragrances, check out one of these videos.